au le nei sa ula sa lupe le le alo atu na wa fionga le matua faiva ma le fa le lua ainga ia ua le fa moe ia o le matou tatalo lo fangia le tua tupe le tua le tatou fa moe ia sao mauli foai le to mai ma le anga va ila o fionga le matua faiva ia fa pe foi e o le asa uni toso ia fa pe foi le mamalo le tapo inga ai ale au mo le fa moe le sunga pali fa tua le sunga la uli ma sunga toa kani marule au e kinga o le mea ia kinga ai a tu ia le loto tu ia le nganga fa moe le tua ai ele pine e uma le manuia ai tato alo avaia wa mai na vai ia o mangalo le lofa ma le anga le lei o le tua tai
kan kongo o le kala unga le
vai dai filau
ala ka fa le pasol ia ka ke bang mang ko ke ro bo le bang fika o ko wa ngale ka ku walo ka ku wang ko ia mo fa solo le ka ku fa no le so
ala mai le langi le paia ma le mamalo le ku le sili ase wa o le aso sa lupe o le aso sa ula le o ka mu le fa mai wa le le sa le va ki o ka mai le va ka o lo ma pe la o le va fa folau e fio mai lo fio le ngai o kupu fio le ngai ka o ma le fa lu lo ko ai nga fa ka le ai ka ulan fio le usoli a pe foi le mamalo le fa le anga le pakua al fio ngai ka pa o ma le fio ngai bul pala le mamalo fa le mangamu fio mai foi lai sa valas fio lo fio le kokori ale ngai ala wa ngai ma mamalo ya sa sulu ma ka ulan ni ua mai singa su'a ku le sunga le va fa ngai ka ulan su'a ku ko a wa pa ia le su'a le mali ko a sa mo le la lele ai al pa ia lai sa mali ko ma le la fa nga solia wa le langi malo fie o le langi malo le sunga le pali ma le farkua sunga ya la uli ma le sunga ya ko a lo ko wa ko le ngai na wa mai ma fa ia ga wa ga ko a la uli ma la umanga wa le a fa ia ga wa ma o lo wa le ngai
Full name George Tuli. Originally from Christchurch. Parents are both Samoan. Mum's from the village of Lalamanu and dad from Lufi.
My name is Papali'i Ramsay Suilima-Sula. I reside in Christchurch, Humbi, and the villages I associate with Awhenga, Papali'i for my mother, and Sakapuala for my father.
My name is Lotte Sula. I'm from Christchurch and we're here in Auckland to get my Malo so I can be the Su'a to my husband. We're currently at my brother's home here in Wattle Downs, South Auckland, and I'm preparing this week to receive my Malo.
You know, as a kid, you always used to see people, even to this day, like, you know, walking around with a band and you think, oh, that's cool and stuff, and that's been me as well. And I've thought about it over the years as well. And I think the timing's right for me now. I've had a discussion with my wife and it's come to the point where in the past I haven't really put the faasavalu on my kids. And I think me getting it better, my main reasoning is a good foundation for me, you know, to show my kids my Samoan side, as well as, you know, if we can have a good foundation of this, hopefully I can spread it into the family, because I don't really talk Samoan to my kids, you know. I don't have no avenue where I could take them to, you know, learn the Faasavalu, you know, our traditional dancing and our culture. So hopefully, really for me, it's a kickstart for me to do things and be proactive within my family. Not just for my kids and my wife, but, you know, do a little bit of my community as well. Because I'm a bit more of a person where I do things for myself and my family, and that's it. And hopefully this will open my horizons, you know, to look at, you know, other people as well, and hopefully help in some way.
I've been lucky enough to be bestowed the title of Papali'i. the High Chief title. I've been going through some things through my life where, you know, I've been needed to change, and I've had a pretty rough life, and I feel the time is right to take the step to get the better, because mō mako I e whāngaungi, e moe ai maua mako makai, ai beia le a koa, pea whai le kāle. So in a way it's to, for me personally, it's to show that my willingness and how serious I am, not only about the title, but to also serve or kaukua for my family, and to leave a legacy for the generations to come.
Ready?
You.
What? Shut
Yeah.
up. Shut.
Lotte tele, tautua I le atua, tautua mai figota,
You know the saying, ka mo moronguku. Normally that applies to heaps of people, but I'm doing it the other way, where I'm doing the better first, and then hopefully I can learn from that, and you know, hopefully the language comes of that and the learning comes of that, and maybe rub off in the future. I can speak Samoan in general language, you know, general conversation to my mum and that. But when it comes down to things like the formal stuff, like, you know, when you're greeting someone or getting someone to come to the table, when you say the mea is ready and things like that, that's stuff that I have to learn. So hopefully this journey for me and getting my better card will help me in the future, and like, you know, maybe spark me to do things like that and take classes in the future so I can learn myself. Not only for myself and be the leader within my family, because I know my kids are proud to be Samoans. Probably more proud to be Samoans than they are, because they are part Cook Island and Māori, but I've got to think to myself, you know, what do I do in terms of immersing them in the culture, because I don't really do anything, to be honest, and hopefully this will kickstart me doing that.
This experience has really opened my eyes to our culture. The importance of love, how everything plays a part. And I feel like my cousin George, you know, there will be a bond forever that can only be shared by him and me. The experience has changed me as a person, even now at this point of the journey. There's a sense of calm. This experience has definitely humbled me. And I thought about it the other night. After every session, nothing can really bother me. And there's a sense of calm that comes with it. You know, it doesn't matter how big the storm is, I can just approach it with calm, which might be a sign for the future, I'll definitely be a voice of reason, someone that a leader that will listen to both sides and have my own perspective on how things are and how they should be. But I guess, something that is really true to your heart and you pray for, God will deliver. Just when you think He won't.
I'm gonna let it shine. Got power. Don't let Satan blow it out. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, let it shine. 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 Let it shine.
Just the thought process when you're going through that pain. You can only block it out with closing your eyes, or sometimes I like the touching, sometimes I don't. I like having my wife's hand there, and then sometimes, I like to have my space as well. With the top half of my better, when they've done my tummy, it's easier to say you can block it out of your mind, but you've got to puka as well. You've got to learn how to breathe, and that's what people don't tell you. And then when you puka, you've got to concentrate. Am I puka? And when you puka, you try not to breathe, because then as soon as you do that, it affects your tummy, and the kufunga can tell if you're moving or not. So the focus is not so much just trying to block things out of my mind. You've got to think, okay, am I breathing right? Is my puka right? And that was the really hard thing that I struggled with at the beginning, was not only the pain, but your body's in positions that they're not used to being in long periods of time. And having that pillow on your diaphragm and learning how to breathe, for that first 2 hours, that was the hardest part. The hardest part was the breathing for me. I expected the pain of the au, but the breathing and having your body in different positions, that was the unexpected part.
My husband has always wanted to get better, and he asked me to be his su'a. I've always wanted to get the Malo. My sister's got one. My dad's a high chief as well. And so when my husband asked, I just said yes. Right now, my husband and I are going through quite a spiritual journey, quite emotional journey. Just at the moment, we've been together for over 20 years, and it just seemed like the time is right. My dad passed away over 10 years ago, so I don't have him by my side. I know he's there in spirit, definitely. Yeah, I love being a Samoan. I try to teach my children. They don't speak it as well, but they definitely do understand what you say to them. So yeah. I love the fact that the tatuas will just tell your journey through his art, and you get to wear it for the rest of your life. At the moment, just going through it right now, it's quite overwhelming. Just the love that you feel with the whole family, everyone coming around. It definitely takes a whole village to go through this journey. It's not just me and my husband, Papali'i, and our children. It's the extended family, the in-laws, his parents, things like that, the cousins, just everyone, even friends.
Having my mum here to witness it and having her full support. And also now that my son is at an age where he understands, he may not fully understand it, but that's fine because he is still young. But I want this to happen now because I'm not young anymore, and my mum's, she's coming of age now. And although she's lived in the European culture here in New Zealand, she's never ever left behind the culture, the language, everything. She keeps the values that she was born and raised with in Samoa, and she's brought it over, and that's what she's done for us. I think it's time to make her, you know, proud of me, and just to show her that, you know, I've come a long way in my own journey with learning my culture and who I am. She's always been proud of myself and my brothers, but I think with this one, you know, my mum hasn't said much in the past week since we started this journey, but I know that in my heart, we see it in her face. You know, my mum's a proud woman, and I'm just happy I'm doing it now and that the timing is perfect because, you know, we don't know what can happen tomorrow, and I want my mum to be able to witness it. This is just another step in my journey, and it's something that I can give back to her.
My mum's has been the rock in our family. We lost my dad when I was 9, lost my brother when coming up to 7 years now, and he was a big influence on us, you know. I like to think I model myself off, you know, my mum and my brother, because my dad, he died when I was at a young age. My mum, you know, within her family and within, you know, our little community, my mum's done a lot, and she means everything to me. And everything that my mum is, she's all about family first, you know, God, family and her culture. When I finish my sessions and I come show my mum like I did today, she goes, "Oh, finally made all better." And I lifted my shirt and I could see, you know, my mum had a big smile on her face, so she's happy to have her family around. She's a realistic person as well, you know. She knows it's not going to be an easy journey. She said to me at the beginning, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Because I think she looks at me as, you know, the younger son, you know, not necessarily the strongest spirit, but I think it's been encouraging, you know, hers, you know, seeing me after, you know, after every session and, you know, giving me a smile. It's, you know, very uplifting to my spirit as well, so. But I've got all the support around me that I need, and I know I'm going to make it through the journey. So it's just a matter of time.
Ya, Malo ni semua mainan game ya. Ya. Hai kuat nak umbak kata.
Ya, aku maya.
Oh iya. Ya. Jadi ai nu leu pa kawa. Pai mak ko su'a dia. Bangir su'a le mengat kawa. Ia melupa dua. Ia maku ke pak kilo ya. Dapat jadi berpaduan. Dia ngai kur ka kuai mana ka ku le ai ma.
Dia
Ya. Ai bisa apa itu kalah. Ya. Kali dia kuah ikan kong oleh asul ngai oleh asul Ethiopia.
Well, my thoughts on this is, this will be like a family treasure, and I can say stuff like, if you're watching this, I'm probably your great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather, and, and my advice would be, if you want to get it, it's not an easy feat. Nothing worthwhile is going to have an easy path. And if you want to get it, you have to be all in it. But if you do get it, I'll be floating around. I'll make sure you'll be alright.
It's been a privilege, to have all you guys here. I wasn't expecting as much help as we've got so far. People bringing in food and they're helping out everywhere they can. Because through this process, I can't do anything and I feel useless as well. But unfortunately, that's the way, they do things. So to have you guys, to rely on you guys to do things that I'd probably try to do myself, it's been awesome, I can't describe. People who do that sort of stuff, they do it out of love. And I know, the family that I've got, and my close, friends and cousins, to me, they're family. They're family. And this is the way they show their love, so it's been overwhelming. Thank you.
Orang ngau kakafi ya, saya orang ngau su'a, ya okaku ainga, spesi. Kalau dia posisi mak siwa dengan kaum dengan baru dia pergi.
liwa ile sola ota mai tai sa wali wali nei le launga tasi sa